Alright guys, so if your gaming laptop is thin and it's overheating a lot and you haven't cleaned it in a couple years and it has a lot of dust, I'm gonna show you guys a really good strategy in my opinion that will hopefully either fix your problem or at least reduce the thermal throttling on it on the CPU and GPU by a ton. Okay, so first what you want to do is go into your gaming laptop software. So in my case, since I have an Asus ROG laptop, for me it is going to be armor equip, okay? Now what you want to do is you want to go to a section where you can change your performance mode. And basically what you want to do here is, if there's like a mode where you can select it to be like manual, so like you can change the CPU and GPU power limit, that's exactly where you want to go, okay? For me, in my case, it's called manual mode. And yeah, so what you want to do is go into it, okay? Now look, for my specific configuration, since my CPU is efficient enough and most of the time it barely uses like 100 or like 80 watts, for me, I can set the PO1 and PO2 limit way lower than the maximum limit, which is like 150 watts for PO2, 120 watts for PO1. And you guys don't know what PO2 and PO1 are. Basically, well, PO1 is uh, the power limit that your CPU is going to try to sustain for most of the time. And then PO2 is like the peak power limit for where it will like sustain it for like a couple minutes, okay? And then, now look, for my configuration, okay, I set you 65 watts for PO1, 70 watts for PO2. For every laptop, it's, gonna be different all the time. But for me, okay, for me, this doesn't really, seem to have that much of an effect on like CPU bound games and stuff, all that stuff. Alright, at least for me. Now you wanna go GPU, right? You want to make your thermal target a bit low. So basically what thermal target is, it says the GPU will adjust to its performance to operate at or below this temperature, okay? So let's see. Right now it was at the default for me, it was at 87 Celsius. Now here's the thing though. That's pretty hot. I don't want my GPU getting that hot, right? Because the GPU is mostly the main component that's making all of this here. Okay, now look. Dynamic pool, you can use it, in GPU bound game. It will most definitely help, Now look, thermal target, you want to set it lower. I like to set it to 75 Celsius because my GPU might perform a little bit worse, but here's the thing, okay? I haven't cleaned my laptop in like 2 years, and my laptop has Intel Core i9-13900H RTX 4070, and out of the box, they both come with the max power limit, and the thing is, like, this is a very thin laptop, so, yeah, you definitely don't want it to get too hot, okay? So, once you're done with that, if your gaming laptop has a third fan, it's most likely gonna be system fan. Obviously, this is optional. So, if your laptop doesn't have a third fan, you could just skip this part. Okay, so now we're on to the fan curve. So basically, you want to set your fan curves a little bit more aggressive than what they typically are. So it's 30 Celsius, and to be honest, dude, you don't really need it. Like 30 Celsius, it's really gonna do anything, okay? Now look, 43 Celsius, and now look, when we get to like, let's say 70 Celsius, that's when you really want to like start wrapping it up. And then 80 Celsius, no, actually, yeah, you usually I want to put it at the max by 80 Celsius because to be completely honest here, um, I really don't want my laptop CPU to low, and you definitely don't want yours to do too. Because even if you play a game, every couple once in a while, and your CPU sometimes back up to 95 Celsius, even for like 30 minutes or like 1 hour every session, dude. Like that's gonna reduce your CPU lag by a lot, okay? So you want to set the fan curves a little bit more aggressively on the CPU, and same thing for GPU. So I say 70 in the 70s is honestly the healthiest because Once you get to like, I don't know, 80 Celsius, that's kind of like the throttle zone for like CPUs, except it's like a GPU. So yeah, really, the finger for every laptop will be different, but once like approaching the, 80 Celsius mode, that's where you want to like, stay, okay? So now after this, we're gonna press apply. And yeah, you also have to read this. And also, if your machine does get damaged, uh I'm not responsible because I have told you guys that it will be different for every laptop. So if it does get damaged, then it's not really my fault, okay? And yeah, also definitely read this. Okay, you have to read this by label manual overclocking. You'll be able to change GPU clock frequency, voltage, and other device parameters that may harm your hardware. So just make sure, when you're watching this video, just know that for every laptop, it's gonna be a lot different, and you always want to make sure what you're doing with it is actually safe and it's not gonna damage it. And of course, I have made sure that what I'm doing with my laptop is safe and it will not be damaged. And so far, it has not been damaged at all, and it's actually helped the temperatures quite a bit. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a sub or a like or a comment for like a video idea for our next video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Have a good day.